So we're here for our weird way of doing pay-per-views. We do the preview, then watch the show and do the review, which is weird because you put the preview, but anybody who watches it has already watched the show, so there's no point in watching the preview. But I like doing predictions. But before we get started, the obvious news I'm pretty sure anybody in the world now knows about, the Kobe Bryant plane helicopter crash, and his daughter too.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, sir.
Never, yeah.
Dropped 80 on Toronto.
81.
81.
All right.
Now
we got a show tonight. The card to me looks all right. Could be good, could be bad. Let's see.
I don't have high hopes for anything. So.
First things first is I do not know if this is a title match or not, but it's Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. I'm gonna guess U.S. title match.
I'm pretty sure it is
That's a good
title
guess.
match.
What are you thinking? I'm thinking Andrade.
Yeah.
Well, if Andrade doesn't win, I get like, Humberto trying to get revenge or whatever for.
No, it's just Andrade's in the middle of his push. I don't think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get why they might give Humberto the win because he's trying to get revenge or whatever. But you just gave him the belt. This is the hot potato garbage that people don't like.
Exactly. Like Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe this year or last year was a perfect example. How they like kept
Fucking
winning
Rey
it and losing it
Mysterio
from
and
each
Andrade.
other. Yep, exactly. So then we've got Sheamus and Chad Gable. This match could be good, but
Could be on the
I
pre-show.
don't really necessarily care about the story because there's no story.
I think it's just since Sheamus is so tall, Shorty Gable is so short. That's the storyline of the match, I guess.
And Sheamus is back, so Sheamus will win.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
guessing Sheamus too. We can't go against him.
And he'll be in the Rumble.
SmackDown Women's Title match. We got Bayley versus Lacey Evans.
This is gonna be a tough one because like there's so many narratives you can try to formulate with it. I want to say Bayley keeps the belt, but she wins by Evans wins by like DQ or something.
They're gonna have one fuck finish on this card.
All right, I'm gonna see Bayley. I'm gonna say Bayley wins by hook or crook.
I'll say
Fair
Bayley
enough.
wins just because I don't like Lacey Evans that much. When she was on Raw, she wore that fancy old white or red dress. Now she's on SmackDown, so she wears the blue dress.
Exactly. That's all that matters. So we got the Raw Women's Title match: Becky Lynch versus Asuka.
If Becky doesn't lose this match, she'll be champion for a year because she's not gonna have another championship match still.
I think
She'll have championship matches before then, but
I'm just saying, I think she holds till Mania at least.
I think
yeah,
so
me
too.
Yeah, me too.
Becky's gonna win. She's gonna avenge her loss from last
I
year.
would say as great as this Asuka.
Heel turns going right now.
It'd be a good match. I can't wait to watch it actually.
She's gonna avenge her loss from last year.
Right. I think so too.
So then we got the Women's Royal Rumble, who,
God, fuck, dude, there's nobody even in this damn thing that we really know.
well, right now that's currently on there is Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Sarah Logan, Fire and Desire, and Carmella.
I'm not saying who's gonna win, but I'm predicting 2 returns: Ruby Riott and Nia Jax.
Nia Jax could be one that would return. Ruby Riott would be really cool to see return as well.
Of course, I forgot about Nia Jax for since she's been gone, and then all of a sudden I read an article like, Nia Jax could come back.
Paige would be cool to see come back. That'd be a surprise that could happen.
I mean, I'd be cool with it, but I'm going with, I think more realistically that there'd be those in. The Paige thing, even she's like, I have a neck of a 6-year-old. I don't know if she.
I could see. So out of the people that we officially know, I think Charlotte would win.
Well,
Sasha Banks in it?
No,
not officially.
not officially, but
Well, she's my pick anyway.
Sasha Banks.
That's why I
your
think
pick.
Bayley's gonna win. 'Cause I think Sasha Banks will again turn on Bayley to challenge her for the title of Mania if she wins the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble.
But if Shayna Baszler's in there, I'm going with her.
No, Baszler's
Oh
the favorite.
yeah. I don't think she's to win it though, but
If she's in there, I'm going with her.
Which pissed me off because she wasn't an option on the DraftKings thing that I just.
well the one reason I don't think it's gonna be Baszler is because she already beat Lynch before, so maybe she's. I don't think she needs to win the Rumble to get to Mania against Lynch if need be.
Well, I mean, the
I don't think she needs it.
the only time she technically quote unquote beat Lynch was at Survivor Series, but she pinned Bayley.
But still, a win's a
She
win.
won the match.
That's how WWE will phrase it. Yeah, I beat Lynch. It was a triple threat, but it won't matter.
But at the end of that match, though, Becky beat the shit out of Baszler,
There you go. I don't think Baszler
which
needs
could
the Rumble.
set up a WrestleMania
That's
feud
what they
between
did
those
last
two.
Survivor Series. That's how fucking Charlotte got herself into the triple threat.
Charlotte got herself in there because literally Vince came out on stage and was like, Becky, you're suspended.
But
who's going to be in this? Charlotte.
they set it up with the whole Survivor Series Mania match because Becky had to be replaced.
That's true. That was
and
cool.
then she went fucking off.
She went ape shit.
So you kind of saw it coming at Survivor Series. Just how they were going to get there was dumb.
So I'm going with Banks.
All right, we got the men's Royal Rumble match.
Ooh, Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre's a good pick. I'm gonna go, unfortunately, with Roman Reigns.
It's an obvious choice because they're going to find a way to get Roman against the Fiend.
Yep.
I just want to see McIntyre and Lesnar. That's what I want to see at Mania.
So
I think regardless of how the Rumble plays out, it's going to be McIntyre and Lesnar, and it's going to be Reigns and the Fiend. This is how they're going to get there.
So, all right, we already know Brock's number 1. So, who's going to come out second and face him?
Who do you want to see in there? What feud would they reignite for the start of the Rumble? Who would you like to see have a one-on-one spot with Brock, or does he just throw the first 6 people over?
I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to throw the first 3 or 4 dudes out. Like one will be, just for example's sake, it'll be like R-Truth. He'll come out, he'll make a joke, get the fuck out of here. Elias will come out with his fucking guitar. He might be number 2.
Elias, didn't he do number 2 with Elias once already?
He was number 1 last year, I think.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
With Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was going to say something.
You were marking out because you were for a joke.
Jarrett.
For a joke, you're just like, that'd be cool if Jeff Jarrett was in it.
I literally predicted it like 15 minutes before the Rumble. I was like, Jeff Jarrett's with the fucking A.
You're like, that'd be funny if Jeff Jarrett just randomly comes
like,
out.
No joke. We did this exact thing we're doing now for last year's Rumble. I'd be like, called it, and we got it on tape.
Wow. So there's actual evidence you said Jeff.
So my thought process then is one person they haven't been talking about is Cain Velasquez.
He's in it.
I could see they're not talking about it much though. So I can see Cain being number 2.
Cain or Cain Velasquez?
Cain Velasquez.
Cain's gonna be in it too.
Trying to get his revenge for the Crown Jewel show, whatever the fuck.
So that's number 2. Yeah, keep going with that.
So then I guess like there'll be like 2 or 3 dudes come out, and while they're fighting each other, every one of them will go over the top rope until either Velasquez and Lesnar eliminate each other, one eliminates the other, or somebody comes out that they won't throw out, like like an over super.
Yeah, I really want to know how Brock gets eliminated from this Rumble.
I mean,
he's not going to win. Actually, we were talking about it on the way here.
I'd love to see Drew do that.
The most surprising thing they could pull out of this Rumble for me involving Brock Lesnar is having him win the damn match.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because in no way, shape, or form when they announce him as number 1, they're like, he's going to win.
Do we see any surprise returns tonight?
Actually, I have 2 things. Surprise return that you actually think could happen, and surprise return that you would want to happen but is less likely.
Alright, surprise return I want to see happen. It'd be awesome to see Edge. It'd be awesome to see Cena.
So even Jeff Hardy's in the rumor mix.
Yep, Jeff Hardy being an awesome rumor.
I don't think there's going to be any.
Like that's what I was talking to him about. It's like the whole surprise in the Royal Rumble is like,
yeah, it's
been lackluster for a while. Like the Jeff Jarrett thing last year was great.
And if there's any unexpected ones, it would be
Edge is unexpected.
Especially like Edge, like maybe Christian.
Like the whole thing
Booker
of Edge
T.
Is like, even if Edge wasn't coming back to like actual full time like people think he is, or like actually signing a contract to be around more than wrestle, like he's done physical shit. So he could technically be in the Royal Rumble, not do all that much, hit some spears on people, and then get thrown over by Brock Lesnar or some shit like that.
Pretty much.
And it wouldn't be any worse than anything he's done since he's been retired.
He's already thrown a few spears out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like he's actually working a match in that case.
Then we got the Falls Count Anywhere match with Roman Reigns.
You didn't say who was going to be 30.
Oh, that's right. Who's going to be 30? Fuck.
Edge.
Don't know.
Elias.
He'll be Edge.
Elias.
No, I don't want to get his singing.
I say for once.
That's why I think either comes out 1 or last comes out 2.
I want to say once in my life, I want to see 30 be somebody where I'm actually like, oh shit.
Because the last time I said oh shit to a number 30, I want to say it was Undertaker.
I'm going to say Big Show.
My oh shit for 30.
Oh God.
My oh shit moment for 30 was John Cena.
That's
because
right. That's
he came back in like 5 months instead of 6.
That was 08, right?
It's supposed to be back. It's supposed to be gone for like 9 months. Came back in 6.
I'm gonna say 30 is Big Show.
All right, so then Roman Reigns and Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Reigns whips his ass.
I'm going Corbin, but the only reason why is I'm thinking they're gonna put the title match on the line at the next fucking pay-per-view. One more match.
Well, because it's okay. So you say Corbin wins, Roman wins the Rumble, and then Corbin's like, "Well, I beat you. Give me your title match."
Exactly. That's why.
I got you, which is
There you go. Yeah.
typical
I'm with
WWE
you.
trope, but
Yep.
I could see that.
And
But
then
you're think like a WWE creative writer.
Yeah.
And then
How
we
dumb
got-
can you make this?
then we got the strap match: Daniel Bryan and the Fiend.
What's
Fiend,
that?
obviously.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Fiend. But can I say
The
one
Fiend
more
will
thing
win.
about the Corbin thing? What are the odds, since we were doing the Royal Rumble? What are the odds that dog food plays a role in this match?
Hopefully none.
I liked your funny ass idea that we were just throwing out there, where like the match is still continuing and the Royal Rumble match is going on, and then someone just
'cause-
gets pinned in the middle of the ring
I was
during the
gonna say,
Rumble.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's like, oh, well, they just go off, start fighting backstage, like, well, shit, we got to do the Royal Rumble, so they do the Royal Rumble, and then fucking like pick or like entrant 14 or 15 is like Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, so they end up in the ring.
Well, they did a little bit of that on SmackDown with Bayley and Lacey Evans.
True.
So.
But
I think we are good
but
for
I'm
now.
gonna say, yeah. So that's anything else for a preview? Any shocking news that you want to be right about, just in case it happens?
No, I've been giving too much to the kind of cutesy little predictions. I mean, the one about the one you just said, that'd be amazing if that comes out. That'd be amazing.
That would be great.
But yeah. So that's that, and we'll cut to the review when we're done watching this potential shit show of a WWE Big Four pay-per-view.
R.I.P. Kobe.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Peace, Kobe.
All right, so we just watched the Royal Rumble 2020, and overall, I think the show was a pretty good show.
Yeah, even the starting with the pre-show, we were kind of impressed with the solid matches were solid.
Yeah, the,
Sheamus and Shorty G, and then Andrade and Carrillo, still solid. So it started off well.
yeah. So Sheamus gets a win over Shorty G, Chad Gable with the bro kick, which is fine. We expected that. He just returned.
So but you really just didn't like a lot of the certain injury angle shit earlier, going after the fingers and all that?
Yeah, I know. That's just a nitpick, really.
But
it didn't factor into the matchup at all, but that's just a nitpick. The match was still solid.
I think it just kind of, to me, it's a time killer. They give you, like, this is the time you have, fill it up.
pretty much, it was a time killer, but at the same time, Chad really worked a good match with Sheamus like I thought he would. Like, Chad's one of those guys that I feel like can just work well with anybody, no matter who it is on the roster.
Absolutely.
I mean, even look back when he had that U.S. title match with AJ Styles on SmackDown a while back.
I just hate the gimmick. The gimmick,
The gimmick is dumb. I admit that.
that's why I think the fucking, I forgot what the website is, the kayfabe site, makes up stories. It's just like, Shorty G joins AEW to be medium-sized
Medium-sized cheat.
Medium-sized G.
Like, Chad Gable, awesome fucking talent.
Yeah.
This dude can go somewhere in the business if they put him, if they decide to get behind him. That guy can be your next Daniel Bryan. You just got to keep this guy happy.
I wouldn't go that far.
He's got the wrestling technique where he could be.
He's really technical, but I don't see that.
You can put him in the
He is young,
same.
too, though.
You can put him in the same talk as Kurt Angle.
That's a...
Again,
And Kurt Angle is one of the best. Kurt Angle wasn't great his first couple years, but Kurt Angle proved himself, and Gable's gonna do that. Give him 10 years.
oh yeah, he's young. It's like, look at fucking Kofi, took 11 years to win the WWE
That's true.
Championship. So.
And I'm not saying that Gable's gonna be like, he's gonna be a Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle. Like, he might not win world titles. I don't know if he keeps his current gimmick. I'm not seeing that. But
no one will take the gimmick Shorty G seriously.
but his skill set is there,
Yeah.
which that's great.
Because a lot of these guys have the skill set.
That's true, and a lot, and nowadays WWE in particular is starting to look at the smaller statured guys as guys that can finally take them to the next level, which is good.
It's been so long, like I grew up in wrestling. It was the land of the giants, and it continued that way. Pretty much like Big Show was getting I'm sorry, with Attitude Era. I'm sorry, I want to go back. Like Big Show, Kane, Taker. Austin even said one time that if you take away my personality, I can't compete with these guys who are 6'6", 300 pounds or whatever. And so Shorty G's the same way. If he can find a way to get his personality over, even if that includes the Shorty G gimmick, which is the whole point of it, it's his personality. If that can get over at some point, he can compete with the best.
I honestly feel the same way. I mean, the dude, like I said, has the skill set. He's young. Give him 10 years, and we might be talking about him being a great. Will he be a Shawn Michaels? No.
Well, Shawn Michaels is just
But
one
can
in a
he
million at the time.
can he at least be in the running of people that you talk about as great wrestlers? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you had the U.S. title match, Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. That match was also very solid.
The only thing about matches like that, and this happens with a lot of matches, that you know that Andrade wasn't going to lose. So some of those near falls
That's my problem with a lot of these matches.
is that you know Andrade's kicking out. Sometimes when I see these
false finish.
and not to mention the guy's secondary finisher, whatever you want to call it, that's not his primary one, and then the announcers claim, how did he kick out? We talked about this a number of times during the event. I mean, I'm sitting there going I'm making my arm go up as if he's going to kick out, like I'm a bushwhacker or something. Just pick your shoulder up because you know you're getting up.
I was in my head being like, how many times? How did he kick out? I was like, how many times have I seen anybody get pinned by this?
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
So we knew Andrade was going to win. I thought he was going to get the hammerlock DDT on him, but he didn't. What did he win with again?
He won. I think he won to the roll up. Or
Come on, man.
was it roll up?
The most lethal move in wrestling is the surprise roll up.
Well, anyways, he won by crook.
Good. He's
Pretty
a heel.
much, yeah.
But anyways, I'm just looking this up just on Wikipedia just to look at times. Both of those matches were over 10 minutes.
That's not bad.
Chad
When's
and
the last time you got pre-show matches that went 10 minutes?
Occasionally one of them will if there's more than one. But like this one, Gable and Sheamus went 12:35, and the U.S. title match is 14:20.
Jesus, I didn't think it was that long.
So then we had the Falls Count Anywhere match, Corbin and Roman Reigns.
Big job main show, opening with the least interesting match to me on the card.
I still enjoyed it. It was what it was.
It was an enjoyable match. The only thing is I don't like the personal feud.
Well, the feud was dumb. What I didn't like about the match was either there's a lot of moving around where they're just walking to a place.
Well, and that's kind of the gimmick though of Falls Count Anywhere.
The only real I'll give them props for not bringing dog food back.
I'm glad they didn't bring dog food back, but
I agree
the whole
wholeheartedly.
but the porta potty thing was stupid.
Yeah.
It was stupid to begin with, and it was really stupid because they didn't do anything to make it seem like that porta potty had anything in it. There's like, oh hey look, man, laugh, I pushed him over in the porta potty, but there wasn't like any reason like, oh you pushed him over in this box.
He didn't come out looking.
I mean,
he didn't come out looking soiled or wet or anything.
I mean, like when Kevin Owens was pushed in a porta potty from Strowman, he came out and he was dirty.
At least Corbin could come out like ready to vomit or something.
I would have thought I was gonna laugh my ass off though if someone was in one of those porta potties, hears them fighting, just walks out like, what the hell?
But
just dick out. For
but the
not even dick out. He just took a shit. And he just wiped his ass. He just pulled his pants up and he's walking like, oh fuck, where am I at?
Bad timing.
Like, this is why nobody was allowed to go in these bathrooms.
I ripped off the caution tape too soon, I guess.
Corbin going through those fucking announcers tables and the international announcers tables is kind of funny.
I mean, like, their spots were cool. When he went through the first table, the English, like Michael Cole or whoever the Raw guys were.
Corey Graves was there too.
It was Corey Graves and Cole because it was SmackDown.
They all shut up. And then all you heard was the Mandarin announcers talking. Like,
yeah, you hear the Chinese announcers going. They're fucking being like, you broke my table.
And they talked for like 15 seconds in Mandarin, and then finally Cole started playing a replay.
Exactly. So, I mean, that match overall was fine. Like, the spear in the dugout was pretty cool.
The spear was dumb because it wasn't executed. The finish on the dugout was cool.
I like the area that they did in. Corbin jumped a little too early for it.
The area to finish, that's a creative spot, and I applaud them for that. That was cool to see.
Yeah, they took advantage of that stadium.
They really should have taken advantage of the sign ceiling thing that Houston's in trouble for.
They should have because they had
to plant the sign in there and have Baron Corbin break it over Reigns.
Well, because then they could have did something with the Usos in that predicament because the Usos were there and so were Rude and Ziggler. Like we all thought they were going to be involved.
Yeah, that one spot was I don't know if it was Jimmy or Jay, but he came off the top of the balcony or something.
That was cool. That was cool as shit.
Area. Yeah. The only problem I had with that whole bit was that was like 30 seconds of And bam, there's him, take everybody out, and then 5 seconds later, there's Corbin out of nowhere, takes him out, and then there's Reigns out of nowhere, takes him out. Like,
yeah, that was kind of annoying. That
they just kept popping back on the screen and taking people out.
See-
Well, I mean, but it added a layer that the match needed. Like, could you watch half an hour of two of the same guys just beating the crap out of each other when maybe the guys needed a break? They wanted to put a little bit of a different swerve to it, so you're not looking at the same thing over and over again for however long the match went.
Well, and I can see what you're saying, but at the same time, it would be nice just to kind of like, if they would have panned the camera out a little bit, where you could kind of see that, oh shit, Corbin's coming out of nowhere.
It's just like bam, and there's Corbin, and then
It is a TV show. I mean,
Just because they're
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
popping out the corner of your
Understand,
screen,
basically.
it's kind of annoying. That's all.
one other thing I want to talk about was the porta potty match, or porta potty
The
spot.
porta potty
Abu
match.
Dhabi prison match?
Match at a porta potty. Wow. Anyway, another thing about that detracted to me, or detracted the match, or that spot detracted from the match, was that it's a fight, right? And that spot was too funny.
It's
for
too
me.
corny for a finish to a feud that you're supposed to
Yeah.
hate each other.
It's
for.
like being in a hell in a cell, and
Not having a finish.
like a clown comes in and starts like spraying confetti in your face.
Well, see, I did the one part I did think was really awesome though is Corbin's coming out to the ring on his fucking throne, whatever, and then Roman Reigns doesn't wait for him to get in the ring. Roman Reigns fucking just runs at him and
It's a
starts
fight.
attacking,
Yeah.
which that's awesome.
Yeah,
They did that twice.
There's a lot of times where you see it's a blood feud, right? And then they wait for them to get to the ring, and then they're staring at each other during the introductions. If it's a real blood fight and you want it to be taken seriously, those guys should be at each other's throats from the get-go.
And that's
The,
what we said about Miz and Bray when we were at TLC.
The enhancement talents that got their asses kicked at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll know who they are in about 5 years.
They'll be in NXT before you know it.
Well, it might not even be NXT. They could be in AEW.
Somebody's gonna be somewhere.
But that match overall was 21-20, and I'd rate that as it was an alright match.
Like I said, I didn't like. You said it's part of the gimmick, but I'd say 5 of those minutes of them just fucking carrying each other around. 2 of those minutes is following Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler and the Usos because Roman and.
When it comes down to just walking around and doing nothing, I mean, like, you have to get from spot A to spot B.
It's a cool match, I think, to watch on TV. But I feel like a match like that actually bothers me more for people that are there, unless you're in the spot in which they're doing their thing.
I agree with that. If you're in the actual audience, it would suck.
Because you're on the other side of the arena, you're watching the giant ass fucking screen.
Well, and that's one thing that I thought was negative about the House of Horrors too, is when you're fucking there in the arena, you're watching this from a TV screen.
Until they decide, hey, the pre-tape is done, we can go out to the ring now.
True. So next thing was the Women's Royal Rumble match. Do you want to go through entrances and pluses and minuses, or no?
No, more let's just talk about what I like and disliked about it. I don't want to get too statistical into it.
All right. So that match overall is 54-20. Charlotte won that match, which
Wait, I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what you said. I think you said that because I think we went Baszler or Banks.
I did say Charlotte.
We went Banks, but she wasn't in it because there's a whole story about what her deal is with the company.
Yeah, unfortunately, Albert's prediction of Sasha didn't even happen. She wasn't even there.
I suck.
But there was a lot of people in there. Let's just kind of go through ones that we didn't quite expect. Bianca Belair,
Oh,
and she did pretty well.
Yeah, she pissed me off because she lasted longer than Alexa Bliss.
Not by much.
Yeah, but it didn't
it's
matter.
enough.
It ruined my whole prediction. Yeah.
Molly Holly was there. That was kind of cool just to see her.
With the Hurricane introduction.
Yeah,
that was
except
kinda
for we
cool.
feel horrible because we kept calling her a 50-year-old. And we
She
looked it
looked
up.
like she was 50.
42.
She was moving like she was 50.
It's like, oh, it was really bad.
We had Mercedes Martinez was there.
I was the only one. Well, you knew who she was, but I knew Kiet.
I'd heard the name, I just didn't know who she was or where she worked before.
That's true. You had,
She did alright too.
I mean, I'm not going to name off the main roster people. There was Candice LeRae. She was in it. That was
Tegan
awesome.
Knox,
Tegan Knox, Toni Storm,
Shayna Baszler.
Mia Yim, Shayna Baszler,
And she went in there like Brock Lesnar and just started fucking shit up.
Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai was in there, but that was kind of a pointless one too because she was there and then all of a sudden she was just fucking gone.
Xia Li. The one that was pointless, I'm gonna give you a complete honesty with that, is Chelsea Green.
Yeah, She was, really
She was
young.
literally there
Can
and
we
then
talk-
out.
Can we talk about the Beth Phoenix thing?
Yeah, Beth Phoenix was there. Kelly,
not even
Shotzi
what-
Blackheart,
To her head wound. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. that's what I wanna talk
Santina Morella.
Yeah, whatever.
Dude, that was bullshit. 'Cause we were joking about it, and it was like the last time I joked about something like that, it ended up happening, and then it did again.
Yeah, so stop doing that.
The first year was Jeff Jarrett last year, and this year it's fucking
No more jokes, okay?
But, so, let's go to that Beth Phoenix thing that you want to talk about now.
I'm pretty sure I know when it happened. And it was for Selena Vega. Basically, did him a Hurricane Rana and Spike pile drived her on the fucking mat.
And she has that little tiara thing on, so she
Yeah,
started...
whatever was in her hair fucking probably stabbed her open.
There was definitely a lot of blood. Like, it looked like a Ric Flair blade job on the side of her head.
The Crimson Mask.
It was terrible. It was
But it was
really
on the
bad.
back of the head. It was like all soaked into her hair.
Because at first I thought Charlotte was her nose was fucked up or something,
Well,
but
Charlotte
apparently
was-
she got blood from Beth Phoenix's head, and obviously the blood flow or the amount of blood in her head got bigger as time went on.
That's
I thought-
true.
I thought it was interesting because when the spot that I think it happened at, you watched it, like, well, that was cool. Like, this fucking thing was like, and that's the only time I remember her getting, like, anything to the head that would.
I can't place it, so I'll have to go back and watch it or something.
So,
But that's the only thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about it. We didn't really notice it until like 10 minutes later on her.
that's true. Alright, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to throw the mic up to both of you at the minute, and I'll think of something too. If you had to pick someone that you thought impressed you tonight in the Women's Royal Rumble, you can name 3 people. Who would you think impressed you that was in the Women's Royal Rumble tonight?
I'll go first.
I gotta think about it too.
Baszler, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I love Shayna Baszler, and she came in and they booked her right, badass. I think a little bit too much, but still, you come right in, you start throwing people out, throw somebody out, but you can kick their ass and you know it. I love that part. And her, I thought she was going to win, but so I was a little bit surprised that she didn't, but I'm glad she didn't because if she's coming over like gangbusters out the bat, I think fans will really, really hate her, and not the good heat. It'd be go away heat.
Well, the people who like her now, or hate to like her now.
Yeah. Beth Phoenix, obviously, dude, she went number of minutes. The head wound.
Well, the head wound is why it's on my list. Cause like that's some fucking shit to do for like 15 minutes when you're just fucking.
That's true.
I'm also glad Bianca went over a lot.
She was really good.
She got the Iron Woman time, right? She got the most minutes.
It was either her or
Charlotte, maybe?
because Charlotte was there.
So Wikipedia does not tell the times, but if you go by my eliminations, the one that got it was Alexa Bliss and her, because they were both plus 14. Charlotte was plus 13, but it doesn't say times.
The Iron Woman is by elimination, or is by time.
Yeah.
But if you're talking plus minuses,
The amount of people they beat.
Bianca and Alexa both won that with 14 each.
But I think since Alexa went out first, Bianca had more time.
The elimination of Alexa Bliss was cool.
Yeah, there was a couple of cool eliminations.
She was pulling on fucking Bianca's hair, and then she like yanked her back and moved out of the way and pulled her into the ring post.
I'm gonna say
So those are my 3.
I'm gonna say that the Otis thing was actually pretty funny.
That was weird because we were both
His
like, well,
fat ass is just laying on the ground, and Mandy Rose is getting eliminated, and she steps on him, and he saves her.
She just signed a new 5-year deal.
Yep, and Otis saves her and pushes her back in the ring.
I didn't care much for that spot. The first spot anyway. This the second time he caught her, I was fine with that
Oh,
one.
the second time he caught her was hilarious because Sonya came out too.
The only problem I had with the first spot was because she landed, was supposed to fall, and then he wasn't there yet, so she stopped and then fell.
That was bad.
So to me, it's one of those contrived spots that's like doesn't make any effing sense. Because what the hell was he doing under the ring?
Eating a turkey or something? Eating a ham?
I'll say this.
Okay, but like, and then he knows when she's going to get eliminated and rolls out of the ring. I mean, come on.
The obligatory save yourself from being eliminated from the Rumble spot.
It's a little too contrived on that one. Sorry.
The problem I have with the obligatory save yourself from being eliminated from the Rumble spot that Naomi did was Morrison did it better.
Well, that and then the fact is that so Naomi does her save herself spot, and then she's just instantly gone.
She just stood on the announce table forever, and then like, oh, now it's my time to get back, and takes the top.
So she looked at every avenue to jump to the ring, but via the table to the stairs. She could have made that easy. And then she's like, 10 minutes later, oh, I can build a bridge.
From the stairs to the barricade couldn't really be all that much more farther than the announce table to the stairs, and she's jumping from a higher height from the announce table.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But
I just wish the table would have broke.
So who were your three then?
I actually agree with most of what he said.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and go.
And obviously Charlotte and Alexa did their stuff because they're good.
Well, so I'm gonna go ahead and go and say Bianca Belair, obviously, because she did really well. I'm gonna say Beth Phoenix because of that injury.
Yeah, you gotta give Beth Phoenix some credit.
And then I'm gonna say Alexa Bliss too, because I was impressed with how long she was there.
It's weird because I'll put this with people they have injury concerns with, and
She's one of them.
And the amount of time that they lasted in these matches. We'll get to that later.
So then we had the SmackDown Women's Title match, Bayley and Lacey Evans. That was 9 minutes and 20 seconds.
The weakest match on the card.
Oh, by far, this is the weakest match of the card. It wasn't bad, but it was average.
There's a lot of things that they shouldn't have done. The injury angle, which literally they did in both matches, both women's matches.
Yeah, the injury angle thing was kind of annoying just because it was again brought onto the Raw Women's Title match.
I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'm losing my interest in Bayley, even with the heel turn, and I just don't have an interest in Lacey Evans.
See, I'm interested in them,
outside of just being attractive.
But their story wasn't really, to me, that interesting.
I hate the concept of having to beat the champion to get a championship match, which is how they got that match set up in the first place.
I hate
That's
that too.
50-50 booking in a nutshell.
I hate that too.
You can win the match where you don't become champion, but when the championship's on the line, it just defeats the purpose of doing the match to begin with.
Oh, and I hate when they do that in tag team matches too, where you pin the champ in a tag match, and they're like, "Oh, you pin the champ, so you get the title shot." Fuck you.
Yeah.
Earn your shot.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if down the line, and maybe WWE will do this, or AEW would do it more. Maybe AEW more so than WWE, but have like #1 contender tournaments.
Well, AEW kind of has that set with the rankings.
Because they did their number one.
Yeah, they got rankings.
Because they have the ranking system. They did their #1 contenderships when the Young Bucks beat Santana and Ortiz. They had the top 4 teams go, and Hangman Page and Page and Kenny Omega won theirs, and then they had, even though everybody knew Moxley was going to win, because they weren't just going to throw that story away, they had the #1 contenders match between Mox and Pac.
But WWE has so much time on Raw, they can literally do #1 contender matches or triple threats or whatever.
They're just throwing shit out there to throw shit out there.
Yeah, I know. They're trying to stick to the wall.
They really are.
And yeah, they keep missing the wall.
But the next match was actually a fucking aggressive match.
On the Bayley match.
Oh, okay.
I like her heel turn, but like Dylan says, I'm not totally sold on it. I like the way she changed herself.
I liked it when it happened. I just don't like it now. It seems kind of
but I think it's because Lacey is not a developed character yet. Totally developed character.
Your character and your push and your overness is all based off of the stories that you can get the fans behind.
Yeah. That's why I was hoping Sasha Banks would have gotten the Women's Royal Rumble and won it, because then there's a ready-made story right there.
And you already know that Banks and Bayley can put on a hell of a fucking match. Yeah. If you can put it on at Mania, that would be great.
That's true. Alright, so then we had the aggressive as fuck match. It was the strap match for the Universal title.
Dude, this is the first time I've had
Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan.
A gimmick match like this that actually I was super into.
Yeah, that's because these two guys are just freaking amazing.
And the actual physical damage that is very well shown on camera too.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's a tough.
I mean, fuck. These guys went at it for 17 minutes and 35 seconds of just fucking whipping each other with this strap. High-powered moves. It was just great.
They laid it in. Oh, and it didn't stop for what it says, 17 minutes.
And that fucking entrance with that Fiend Universal title where he's got the face on the title and the mask, it's creepy as shit.
The title is fucking dumb. But when he came out, it's dark, the lights are out, and you just see the eyes from the mask and his eyes above the eyes from the mask.
That's kind of cool. That part was cool.
I still think the match should have been with the red lighting, but maybe they couldn't do it logistically speaking.
You're the only person I know that likes the red lighting.
Because it makes Bray Wyatt look scary, and that's the point. They're getting this character over. You can't do that if he looks like in a normal ring. He looks average, not average, but above average, but not as good as he looks. He looks super scary.
The thing is they could have gotten the red light there because they got the red light in Saudi.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the only nitpick I have about the match. Everything else was fan-effing-tastic.
The fucking story was even great about it because they brought up the fact that Daniel Bryan was in the Wyatt family back in 2014.
So here's my thing. Like, this is great. Daniel Bryan, this story, awesome. Fantastic. Fiend's not ruined yet. Fiend's still a great character. It's awesome. But where they're going next terrifies me.
Well, because you got to question essentially what is next.
And if it is Roman Reigns, I'm worried.
Who else is there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a trope that they do in the Royal Rumble almost every year, that the last two guys in the Rumble, whether they win or lose, are the fucking guys.
Get title matches, pretty much.
Well, yeah, usually, but last year was one of the exceptions, obviously, because Strowman didn't get anywhere near a title match. But yeah,
oh my God, Strowman got put on the fucking pre-show.
Yeah, with Michael Shea and Colin Jost.
Yeah, such a great fucking thing to do.
Hey, I see your work.
The physicality, two awesome talents. I've been enamored with Wyatt since he had the Wyatt family because it's so different. WWE didn't know how to book that to its full potential. So I'm so surprised that the Fiend is getting over as it is. I'm just surprised, and of course I'm elated about it.
I'm just glad that it was Bray's idea, and they're like, okay, let's do it.
100% him.
And I also like the fact that we were talking about this earlier, how normally when they repackage a character, they pretty much erase all the stuff you know about the character. Well, with the Fiend, he remembers everything that fucking happened to him as Bray Wyatt.
That's why a lot of the people that he's going after, he has a history with. They've done it.
Yeah, so like he's going after Daniel Bryan, talking about when he was a member of the Wyatt family. He's going after Seth Rollins for when the Shield battled the Wyatt family and all that. Like, he's got personal beefs, and he actually brings them up in storylines. So storyline continuity, something that you never really see anymore in WWE.
Yeah.
Anyways, the next thing we had that pretty awesome Raw Women's title match. Becky Lynch and Asuka, 16-25?
16-bit, wow.
Yeah, that one went on, and they put on a show. And there's moments in time you watch and you think Asuka might win. You're pretty sure it's not going to happen. But
well, see, Becky, they picked the right winner because Becky didn't need her win back from last year at the Royal Rumble. But if I had to compare the two matches, they're pretty fucking close. They were both just awesome matches. Both competitors just amazing.
And I'm glad the win was decisive, but it wasn't like the most lethal move in all of wrestling is a surprise roll up.
It wasn't it wasn't even a fuck finish either.
No, it wasn't a fuck finish.
It almost was.
It would have been.
The way they used the green mist was great, except for the cut to her face where
when she has it all on her fucking face.
Where you see one of the capsules pop on her face and it just goes everywhere.
Oh yeah, because it's like in her eyes and shit.
Like,
that was so bad. But Becky was gonna get the green mist to her. Fucking.
And
Asuka spit it up in the sky because she ended up getting hit.
Green mist is spoiled.
But my point now that we got through the women's matches, who's Charlotte going after?
I feel like Charlotte's gonna go after Becky just because of the history. But
she's got a lesser history, but she got a history with Bayley too.
She does have a lesser history of Bayley.
But Charlotte's gonna be a heel. They're not gonna do a heel on heel.
Because I could see Sasha somehow getting Bayley.
Well, that's
I would love that story.
If you had we talked about this, they almost did it at Manias in the past. Sasha Bayley, Charlotte Becky, just do that, and you got your women's matches for the show.
But and there you go. You got the 4 horsewomen fighting each other at Mania, possibly one in like at least towards the main event. Not the main event this time. That's gonna be McIntyre and
I'm still
Brock,
rather certain the only reason it was main event last time was because fucking
Ronda Rousey was there.
Correct.
Because on top of that too, if you think about it, Ronda Rousey brought decent numbers because they never had an Evolution 2 pay-per-view, even though that pay-per-view was really good and everyone loved it. Everyone loved the fact that they gave the women an all-woman pay-per-view, but this year they didn't even try. They could have. They would have made a decent amount of money because everyone liked it last year.
Yep.
But I just don't understand it. Whatever. Ronda Rousey is apparently the one thing that they need to make more money.
She's on a pregnancy vacation.
Well,
Or impregnation.
well, and to be fair, we don't even know if she's gonna come back after she has her kid.
If she even gets pregnant, there's that too.
Well, yeah, that too. But we don't know if she's ever gonna come back.
The most recent thing says she wants to, but that's all internet news.
Well, and the thing is, I can see her wanting to come back because she said she had a great time during her time wrestling. It's just, will it happen? But anyways, then we had the 1 hour and...
It was really just over an hour.
1 hour and 50-second Royal Rumble match, the men's Royal Rumble match. Holy shit, we had some fucking doozies.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
It's weird because when it was going on, we were laughing. It's like, whatever, the Brock Lesnar just eliminated everybody. And it's like, okay, well. And then you got to the point where, like, this is old now.
I think it went a bit too far, but maybe maybe it was far enough, and then all the elite players. No, I'm sorry, not all the elite. Sorry, all the main event players. Were there at the end, and I was glad about that. And Brock didn't make any appearances after that. He came in, whipped ass like he should. McIntyre gets the rub, and then he wins the Royal Rumble.
Well, we can talk about the 3 biggest moments in this match.
Well, let's just say this first off.
You want to go off with
Brock Lesnar went through number 1 all the way to 14, where he was the only person who eliminated anyone.
Yeah.
He fucking went through, people like Elias, Rude, Morrison.
Let's talk about Elias real quick. The sacrificial lamb walking to the slaughter.
That was awesome, especially because Brock fucking gets out of the ring,
Goes,
almost falls.
That would have been fantastic.
It would have been the best fucking moment of the match if he would have just fucking ate shit in front of green shirt guy.
He almost falls, and then he fucking books it over to Elias and fucking kicks his ass.
Yeah.
That was so great.
Fucking the 3 best moments of this match. Well, 3 biggest moments of the match. Ricochet kicking Brock in the fucking balls. And
that was awesome.
And McIntyre Claymore kicking him out of the match.
The Shelton
Benjamin thing was amazing.
Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin comes out. He's all cocky because it's him and his boy Brock, you know.
Remember me? Yeah, we used to be boys.
Paul Heyman was great because like, it's so good to see.
As you you're about to be eliminated.
And then they fucking shake hands.
I'd love to see you go get reacquainted with my client.
Then they hug a couple times. And then Lesnar, German suplex, you're gone.
You know the worst thing about that is, for me, ever since Shelton's been back, that's the best fucking moment he's had in the ring to me.
Well, yeah. And then we had
It's been like 2.5 fucking years. Too.
We had the return of MVP. That was cool. But Brock took him out real quick.
Real quick.
I like the one little spots with even though Kofi was in there a little bit, I still enjoyed the fact he didn't get this thrown out in 8 seconds. The Keith Lee coming in.
Oh, yeah,
Keith Lee and Braun Strowman with Lesnar was awesome.
Yeah.
You about tried to break shit. You jumped up so fast. I was like, Jesus.
It was hilarious because Brock's sitting there fucking taking these dudes to town. He's taking Strowman and Lee. And he's fucking German suplexing Lee, and Lee's landing pretty much on his goddamn neck.
I know.
You know what I've learned, though, from Brock, and what I've actually really started to like from Brock, especially recently?
His physicality?
No. Personality.
Yeah,
he's got some facial expressions now, like he's laughing at shit. He's like, oh, no.
He still can't talk on the mic very well, but he's a man of few words anyway. That's why Heyman's in his corner.
And it always has been, except for when he betrayed him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Then my man comes in. Drew Mac.
Drew McIntyre comes in, takes out Lesnar, and that's...
And for the record, who called it?
You did. That was the second biggest pop of the night.
The biggest pop of the night, and I was doing it, and I said it during the shows, I kept doing it.
Number 21.
From about 18, 19, and 20, every time
you know me.
Every time it hit, I was like, I hit the on this day part, not the you think you know me part, but I kept doing it because I was like, it's gonna happen. And then when it did happen,
fuck, we died.
That was amazing with the pyro and all that. Woo!
Edge coming out was just the best, and he took his time and soaked it in.
You can see his face.
I'd put it up there with when AJ Styles debuted, with for me like seeing something that I never thought I'd see.
And that's honestly what I thought too, because after 9 years, we haven't seen this guy compete, and we're like just sitting there going, okay, he's just gonna hit a couple spears and he's gone.
And then I think I mentioned it in the. We're gonna do one.
And he
more.
goes to the end.
But I think I mentioned it in the preview part at the beginning when we were talking about like shocking things or whatever. It's like we're talking about Edge, and it's like, well, he could just do a couple spears
and be gone.
Get some shit in and then get out. He's like, and that almost looked like what they were gonna do. Even when he was in there for like 5 minutes, he wasn't taking any bumps, and then he did.
Matt Riddle was also a surprise.
But it was wasted. He didn't do anything.
No, he didn't really do anything. But like people that aren't on the main, quote unquote, main roster is just Matt Riddle, Edge, Keith Lee, and MVP. So 2 of them were actually like surprises. Edge, the biggest, of course, and the other 2 were. It was cool to see Keith Lee because he did some decent shit. Matt Riddle was worthless.
There's 0 point in that. And I guess for the point, it might just be because they didn't want to waste a spot like that on, like, say, Adam Cole. If you put Adam Cole in there, or something with Johnny Gargano, something like that, people might expect more.
That's true. And just for the record, Brock Lesnar was plus 13. Edge was plus 7. And Drew McIntyre was plus 14.
Edge was in there for a while. And just because it's me, I'm going to bring it up because it didn't piss me off, but I realized it. It's like, oh, I love Edge. How dare you eliminate my 2 favorite people?
Yeah, Edge did eliminate his 2 favorite people, Randy Orton and AJ Styles.
But the Orton one was cool just because, like, you saw one of them was going to betray the other. It was just going to happen.
The AJ Styles one, to me...
It looked weak because even the camera didn't even catch it.
Well, see, to me, I think that may have been a botch because then Anderson and Gallows are out there and they're by themselves.
And then that's when the RKO thing happens.
Yeah, because I thought it would be like rated RKO taking on fucking Gallows, Anderson, and Styles 3-on-2. And of course, rated RKO would have won against them, but...
That was my first
I think they basically did the bit exactly how they were going to, minus Styles.
Exactly, because I think Styles accidentally got eliminated.
I feel like Styles...
That's one of the first things I thought about. Was that a botch?
I think Styles was the one. I think Styles was the one that was supposed to get the double RKO.
I could see that. I mean,
and they just had to write something on the fly because they were definitely going to do it. It was always
they were definitely going to do it, but seeing Rated RKO together was fucking awesome.
Yep.
Randy Orton making fun of Edge's fucking physique was funny as hell.
You look okay.
It was funny as hell to see that. Randy Orton's expression when he sees Edge in the ring is fucking funny too.
Okay, he comes out to the ring.
He's like, oh yeah.
And then he like runs to the ring because Edge is in trouble.
And then
I haven't seen Randy Orton come to anybody's defense in a while.
And then Randy Orton just looks at him like, it's you. What are you doing here?
And then fucking, when Randy's about to betray his ass, he's like looking at him like,
yeah, Randy Orton's gonna give him the RKO and eliminate him.
And then Edge is like,
and Edge just turns around like, no, you're not.
And Orton's just like, hey, you know me. You know.
And then Edge betrays Randy.
Yeah, right. Both of those guys are heels, natural heels. So I'm not surprised the one eliminated the other.
Well, the first thing you said.
Oh, and then Randy was like,
I thought caught on camera like that's like I've never seen one.
And it was fucking loud because you literally just hear Randy Orton going, like it's okay, whatever.
Blank expression, blank expression, blank expression.
That was awesome.
I liked how the Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and all that stuff played out. It did just enough. It was getting to the point where like, are we gonna see another group just dominate the Rumble again? But they just did their shit with their own story, and I thought it was good too.
The only part you said it pushed the story, so they eliminated the 3 people they needed to eliminate to push that. They eliminated Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens,
and Aleister Black.
But it also took away from time to see Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, and Samoa Joe in the Royal Rumble. Joe was only in the Rumble 90 seconds longer than Rollins by that point.
And it was kind of annoying just because it was because Seth Rollins is coming out to the Royal Rumble match and he's got Buddy Murphy and AOP by his side already, which is like, alright, like I get that that's kind of a cool thing to do, whatever, but I don't know, to me it just wasn't my favorite. Like they pushed the storylines they needed to push, It's just I thought it would have been more interesting, like you were saying, if they would have let Joe, Black, and Owens have a little more time.
The only thing I wish that would have happened is once they got rid of all those guys and they did all their shit to Rollins, why the fuck did Edge not spear Rollins?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because he speared Roman later, and that was cool. I called that shit before it happened.
Oh, that was cool as
Yeah, because
fuck.
they did the same finish. That's why.
Well, that's cool as fuck, because Roman fucking tried to spear Edge. Edge literally jumps to the point where he can touch his toes pretty much, and do a split in the air, and then he fucking just spears Roman instead. That was cool as hell. Who was the 3 that impressed you guys then in that Royal Rumble? Edge,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh, good lord. Been out of action for almost 9 years. Hell yeah.
I would have said Brock, but that was just expected. So I don't even count what Brock did.
No, Brock's wasn't really that great.
I will say McIntyre because he had to show. Like, you can't have him win and have the reaction that he got at the end, winning the match, if he didn't have a good performance. Like, if he would have performed poorly and still got the win like that, he might have got a different reaction.
See, and I'll say Drew McIntyre as well, but I'm going to also say a dark horse in this one a little bit. I'm going to say Keith Lee's was pretty impressive for how long he was there.
It's not even that, it doesn't matter how long he was there for, it's that he was there with Brock Lesnar
And Strowman.
Well, I was more impressed with his bits that he did with Brock Lesnar.
I'll be honest, like, you mentioned this earlier. Brock Lesnar himself, to me, was, although it went too long, it was still what I thought was going to happen, but his personality showing through. I was impressed by that.
He's like, you knew when he was pissed, and then you saw Keith Lee, and it was like, oh.
And then the Shelton Benjamin thing. I thought all that was good. Him throwing everybody out lasted a little bit too long.
They found a way to make that shitty thing of being like, hey, people don't like Brock. Well, let's make Brock the only one in the ring for like half the match.
That's true.
They found a way to make it work.
Well, they made it work. The only thing that I wasn't a fan of, though, is like, you have people like MVP and John Morrison, like, who are
that was just,
coming back, and they were just wasted.
The Morrison one was a complete waste.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the only part that I'm not okay with, because, like, Brock Lesnar going on a rampage, fine. Give him Eric Rowan. Give him Curtis Axel. Give him fucking Kurt Hawkins. Who cares? But you're giving him John Morrison, and you're giving him MVP.
You're one of your surprises.
And you're giving him MVP? Like, what the hell? That was dumb.
I like the obvious string of, well, we're going to throw a bunch of people that Brock's had a history with recently, and they're all at once.
Rey Mysterio and...
Yeah, Rey Mysterio and the New Day.
And New Day. Kofi, specifically.
That bit they did where they're all working together, and then they're going to do, like, the...
Yeah. Go get him.
And fucking Brock's like, yeah, fuck you, Ray, and chucks him out of the ring, and then uses Big E as the fucking stepladder to clothesline the fuck out of
Kofi. That was fucking hilarious.
It's like, they did good bits to get it to where they wanted it to go. And I'd say it's better than last year.
So then, alright, so we're looking at eliminations here. One of them is 2005, Gene Schnitsky, Paul London. What was your favorite elimination in this particular Royal Rumble?
What about that? What you were just talking about? What about it?
That was an awesome one, because that was the one where Gene Schnitsky had a cast on his arm.
Yeah.
And Paul London's on the ring rope, or on the apron, and he clotheslines him, and Paul London does a fucking flip.
Oh, yeah.
Weirdly enough, I have 2.
Okay. Which ones are you thinking?
Because the Morrison one was just... Both of mine are just because of how aggressive they were. Because he just fucking belly-to-bellies his ass out the ring, and he does a fucking front flip and thrown into the barricade, which I thought looked intense.
I thought that looked intense too. I'll give it that.
McIntyre just chucking Ricochet like a ragdoll.
the McIntyre Ricochet one is the one that came to my head, because oh my god, like, Brock would have did the same thing to him, don't get me wrong.
But having it be McIntyre sets up that... Having McIntyre do the Brock bit after Brock was gone while he stares Brock down.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting, actually. So Brock Lesnar gets eliminated, and then he just kind of goes to the timekeeper area and just stands there. Looking like he's just going to watch.
But also the Brock elimination, if we're talking. Because that was just... It just had to happen at that moment, because everybody's like, fed up with fucking Brock. You got Drew McIntyre in the ring who's going to win the fucking match. You got to get Brock out of there, because you can't give away Brock and McIntyre.
Yeah, no, you're not going to give away those two.
And then having Ricochet just kick him in the balls while they're staring each other down.
See, and there is one thing they could have did to improve it, is after every elimination, if you would have had Paul on the mic talking shit.
Okay, it's funny because they started just giving him the title.
Yeah, they started giving him the title because he is the champion, so he's just holding it up, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would have liked it if they had, like, Heyman kind of on the mic just putting Brock over, kind of like CM Punk did in the 2010 Royal Rumble, and he's like,
Yeah,
I can save you, da-da-da-da-da, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that would have been interesting. That would have been kind of cool.
My two favorite eliminations was the Lesnar Benjamin one. Because we saw it coming and it was still freaking cool.
It was funny as hell.
Saw that one coming. We saw because you're the one I think
and when
said
Edge got Randy Orton out.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That came out right when you said that.
And not to mention when McIntyre kicked Lesnar out of the match.
I mean, I liked how fucking Ricochet had to go to Dick Kick City. That's Brock's weakness.
Dick Kick City. Yeah, it is. Ronald's got him.
He fucking kicked him in the balls. Like, did he kick him in the balls 3 times, or was it even more?
I think it was just once.
He kicked him once.
That's at least twice.
No, you were thinking of when Daniel Bryan kicked Bray Wyatt in the dick 3 times on the
Well,
dick.
he kicked him 3 times in the dick, but Brock got kicked at least twice in the balls by Ricochet.
He did do it twice. You're right.
And then he fucking got thrown over, and then he got a Claymore kick. That was fucking great. That was pop of the fucking match before Edge comes out.
Yeah, he stole the show.
Edge did steal the
Edge
show.
stole the show.
Like, Edge looked great.
You were fucking terrified.
Well, because I didn't want Roman to win. Like, low-key, I didn't want Roman to win. I predicted it. Don't get me wrong.
You're like, I predict Roman, but I really don't want it. You were not low-key about it.
Yeah, towards the end, you were getting a little petrified.
Well, because I didn't want Roman to win. Because, like, I know they're probably going to have The Fiend and Roman at WrestleMania, okay?
Anyways.
But we don't automatically need that.
It was McIntyre's moment, and he should win.
Definitely. He's impressive as fuck. He's been impressive for a long time.
When they got down to it, and there's Orton didn't need it.
No.
Nobody even knows what Edge's deal is, and it was great to see him in the final 4-3.
It was great to see him. Roman Reigns didn't need it.
Roman definitely didn't need to win again. And this is really the only way they were going to book that match. Because, like, Brock would never just give McIntyre a title shot.
Well, actually, if you think about it, with Brock getting eliminated by McIntyre, if McIntyre wouldn't have won, they could have set up that match still.
They definitely could have set it up. I'm just saying, it works better.
It works better this way.
To do it this way than be like, how is McIntyre going to goat Brock Lesnar into giving him a title match?
I agree with that. So what's your overall final thoughts on the pay-per-view?
I was really surprised. As cliche as this, because a lot of it was pretty obvious. Like, the results were kind of expected the way they were.
Yeah.
But even with having that, it was a pretty goddamn enjoyable show.
Yeah. They put on a solid show, and like you said, the matches, some of them are pretty predictable, not gonna lie. But at the same time, they put on a good show. It was a good effort by all the competitors for the most part tonight.
Yeah, there was not any part of any match that said this is awful or whatever. It was all the matches were solid as a floor, and so anything beyond that, obviously the Daniel Bryan Fiend match was fantastic. The men's Rumble was great.
It's one of the better ones in years.
Yeah,
it really. I think honestly, this Royal Rumble that we had tonight, match wise, was probably the best one since 2010, the one that Edge won.
Go figure.
Welcome back, Edge.
Yeah.
Make us think about you again.
Overall, I thought it was fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the show, like the card going into it, I was like, this looks like a decent show, like I didn't have like my hopes too far up because when you do it, they disappoint you. But at the same point in time, having expectations that are not super high, it made it work.
I'm pretty sure I said I was not excited.
I mean, we had a good time. Just overall, we're gonna hopefully get a good WrestleMania card here. Hopefully they can just keep the momentum up for the next couple shows.
I want to see The Fiend at WrestleMania, but I just don't want it with Reigns.
I don't want it with Roman Reigns either, just because I don't want him to be fucking taken down a peg like when he fought Cena originally at 30. I don't want a repeat of that.
Me either.
I just don't like the idea that, like, we were watching. I don't know what's going on in front of us.
Well, I know you, but they're talking or something.
But my last thing before we end this, because I'm not looping again. Fucking my one thing about the Bray Wyatt Daniel Bryan matches, yeah, you found moments where you thought Daniel Bryan was gonna win. And like, okay, well, if they do that, fine. See what they do with the Fiend. Like, did we really think he was gonna win? No, but if he did, you're like, okay. But now, because we've watched it happen in so many Roman Reigns matches, you're gonna be sitting there like, no, fifth Superman punch, no, spear, no, go fuck yourself.
Well, and then if he does win with less than Rollins had to win, that's gonna be fucked up. But overall, I'd give this pay-per-view a fucking A-.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I'm not gonna give it a grade, but it's fucking one of the better ones that I don't know, say fucking beat the shit out of the one we went to.
I'm a little intrigued about the road to WrestleMania now, so maybe I'll start watching a little more Raws and SmackDowns going forward.
All right, we're gonna close this out just by saying we're gonna come back to you in a couple weeks with another special podcast. Legend and I are gonna start doing weekly podcasts again, so we'll see you then. R.I.P. Kobe.